from the game. Trent Williams has an elbow sprain. Managed him throughout the week. Marcel Harris going on the reserve COVID list. We got Dante Johnson, K'Wan Williams, and Raheem Mostert.
Kyle, all those guys are going on the reserve COVID list?
Yes.
Hey, Kyle, I know you addressed this after the game, but where are you? Have you got any more information today about how Jimmy feels, and have your thoughts changed at all about just kind of the approach you're going to take this week with him?
No, just start getting on LA now. We just finished all the film work and stuff with the guys. Going to put in together a game plan for both, and hopefully he'll be able to practice on Wednesday.
There was some news over the weekend, again, a national report that suggested that he was going to have off-season surgery on the thumb. Is that something that you've been made aware of as well?
I've been made aware of that the surgery is a possibility, but as of right now, he would not need it.
Kyle, now finding out that the New Orleans Saints game will be played at the same time as the 49ers game, does that have any effect on you? Would you prefer it to be ahead of the Niners game, or does it not matter?
No, it doesn't matter. We wouldn't change anything regardless. We feel like the playoffs started for us yesterday, even before that Houston game, and be like that until this year's over.
Kyle, do you still feel like Emmanuel Mosley and Dre Greenlaw still have a chance to play on Sunday?
I do. I'm really hoping so, obviously, but they definitely do have a chance to play.
Kyle, do you consider Josh Norman to be the starter at corner, or is that position kind of up in the air right now?
I think it's up in the air right now. Especially with Dante going on COVID. Hopefully all the protocols will go right and we can get him back here in 5 days. But Josh has held up throughout the year. Dante went and did a good job, and I think Ambry's been doing really good once he got his opportunity. And we'll see where Emmanuel's at this week. So hopefully we'll end up having 4 good options.
The decision to pull him for the game, was that yours, Kyle?
Yes.
And to keep him out for the rest of the game also?
Yeah, Dante was going to end up starting after that Seattle game too, and so Dante's been playing well. Ambry's come in and gotten better each week, and Josh has known him for a little bit, but all those guys do that. There's not a big jump between all those guys, so if we were struggling with PIs or anything like that, we were going to give Dante a shot.
Hey, Kyle, can you just clarify real quick? You said at the beginning, Marcel, with the injury, we were talking about the stinger that he had. He's not on the COVID list also, right?
No, just Dante, K'Wan, and Raheem.
Thank you.
Kyle, you've won 5 in a row over the Rams, and I know you don't want to get into too many details, but is there one general thing that you think kind of highlights why that's happened?
No, I don't think there's one general thing. Usually it comes down to the turnovers, us protecting the ball and getting it from them. I know we did a good job at that the last time we played. I'm not sure all the 4 ones before that, but usually it's going to come down to that.
When you had
what's your level of comfortability? You go ahead.
When you had a chance to go back and watch Trey's performance, did you see anything different than what you saw live? What was your evaluation after watching the tape?
No, I thought it was felt pretty similar watching the tape as it did live. I thought Trey did some really good things. He was thrown in a real tough situation in terms of just where our team was at, how big of a game that was, basically being a playoff game. I thought he went in there, handled the pressure real well, got off to a slow start, him and the rest of the offense, which I thought put a little bit more pressure on him also. And to watch him just respond, especially after that pick, I thought he had a real successful day and good to get his first win off his back.
What's your level of comfortability and just, I guess, familiarity in Trey's abilities and where he's at in his development in terms of calling plays for him, creating a game plan. How comfortable do you feel just, knowing him and his tendencies and what he likes to do?
I mean, I've done it for 2 games here, but we talk about it all the time. He goes through all the stuff that we go through with Jimmy, but I feel real good with it, especially only doing that twice. That's something that you always, player and coach, always get more and more comfortable the more games you get.
We hadn't seen him for almost 3 months there. It seemed like his throwing motion had been shortened a bit. Am I just seeing something, or is that the case? That it's not quite as looping as it was maybe on October 10th.
Yeah, it probably is. I'd have to go back and watch both of them to see how much better. But it's something that he focuses on and works on a lot. And he's put the time in on it, and I would say that is accurate.
You explained that one of the reasons why you one of the reasons you worked.
Come out with me, and how's he feeling?
What was that?
How did Elijah Mitchell come out in regards to his health, and how did he look on film from what you saw?
I thought Elijah looked real good. Took him a little bit to get going. He missed the first run of the game, and he doesn't miss many, which I think was for obvious reasons why. He hadn't been out there in a month. But he got into the flow of it. He ran hard, broke tackles like he always does. Really only missed that one. Had a real good game, and what I hear, he checked out fine. Sore as always, as running backs are after games, but had no setbacks with his injuries, and hopefully he'll have a good week this week and be even better next.
How you explain maybe one of the reasons you weren't getting Trey in there for a couple plays at the time when Jimmy was playing was maybe got you a little out of sequence against the defense. You weren't seeing things you wanted to see. Has that maybe evolved a little now that you've seen Trey play a little bit more?
No, that's just more like, having Trey in the whole game allowed us to get a feel for how Houston was defending them. When you put on how a defense plays at quarterbacks, they're always going to play quarterbacks somewhat similarly that you get to a quarterback run. And guys always got to adjust a little bit for the different types of plays that come with the threat of a running quarterback. And those are adjustments you want to see. How much does shotgun affect the defense pistol when they are accounting for them? What type of defenses does that get you? And it definitely got us some different defenses versus Houston than what we had seen on tape and than what we were anticipating. But knowing he was going to be in there the whole game, then you start to get a feel for it and see how they want to stop Trey. And that's what was so hard when just bringing him in for a play or two earlier in the year.
Kyle, Trey spoke after the game about how great Jimmy Garoppolo has been in supporting him. What have you seen between the relationship between your 2 quarterbacks?
Really, I think the most important thing, that neither of them have to try to do anything. They're both themselves to each other. I think it helps that I think they both genuinely like each other and respect each other. And they're 2 good guys, so neither of them is trying to hate on each other and do anything shady to one another. We spend a lot of time together. And those dudes are, I knew Jimmy before I knew Trey. And Jimmy has been the same guy all along since he's been here, and it still continues to be. And Trey's handled it very well, too.
Kyle, we like to pretend that it's all about the QB, but it seems like whenever you guys are rolling, no matter who's under center, it's because of the people around him, pick the QB up, and that includes you. Do you think, how would you assess, well, first of all, do you agree with that, and how would you assess how Trey's supporting cast did yesterday?
I agree with the supporting cast in terms of, quarterbacks are, yes, they're always the most important person on the field. Everything goes through the quarterback, but quarterback cannot be successful without everyone around them, and everyone around them can't be successful without a quarterback. So I think that's one of the coolest things about football. It is such a team sport, and I thought the supporting cast, I thought we all started off a little bit slow. I thought we had a couple big drops at the end, and I think it was this third quarter Devo on that 2nd and 8. And a couple penalties, and when we were getting rolling that caught us, and we had to go back. I didn't make some good calls, I think, in some of those short yardage situations that made those 2 tough. So it took us a while to get going, but I think some guys stepped it up, made some plays, and I think the defense and the special teams did too, that the way they were playing, it made it easier for the offense not to press. We weren't getting the points that we wanted them, but we didn't have to scrap the plan. We just stuck with it, and everyone was patient, and eventually it took care of itself.
Kyle, with this, the time that Jimmy is getting without throwing, is any part of the, I guess, equation for him is a lessening of pain? I mean, that is a week ago, was it so painful, and perhaps now that's abated. I guess, is that a factor at all, or is it more just about the stability of the joint?
Yeah, I mean, I think pain is a huge deal, but I think Jimmy will be all right with that when the time comes to have to go through it. I think just the more days you can take off and stuff, the more you give it a chance to stay healthy and to kind of relatch and not to make it worse. And that's the fine line of knowing how far you can get with it, and at the same time also trying to give it just a little extra time to get a little stickier.
We'll do 2 more, please.
Kyle, considering what he's making this year, I imagine you guys are pretty happy with the production you've gotten from Arden Key. It seems like he's just come on really strong in the second half. He's a free agent this upcoming offseason, and assuming that you guys are kind of probably want to talk and try to keep him around. At 25, how do you decipher whether it's like a one-year wonder type of breakout season, or he's the guy that's going to sustain the success and he's finally in a scheme that fits him?
I mean, I think that stuff. Arden's had some injuries and things like that, and he's been in a different scheme, but he's battled through all year for us. We've really enjoyed the person, loved having him around as a guy. I think he's gotten better as the year's gone, and I think he's done a decent job taking care of his body this year. So, that's always a risk with everybody looking into that stuff. But I've really enjoyed the year with Arden, and I think he's playing better football as it goes, and hopefully that'll continue here over this week and hopefully into the playoffs, because he's been a big part of helping our defense get to where it's at.
You mentioned maybe you saw some different defensive looks out of the Texans. Were they maybe not crowding the line as much, or what generally was different about it?
No, I actually crowd the line more because you need middle third players and you need quarter safeties to go tackle that quarterback. If you want to play your fronts the same way, you got to have an extra guy go do it. And their safety, Reed did a real good job of playing some of that stuff. And when they weren't accounting for Trey, and he pulled it, he was able to meet him about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, which means he's got to get up there pretty tight to do that.
Hey, Kyle, real quick on injuries. Trent Williams' elbow, is that related to what he had to go through last year? And then of the IR guys, are Sanu and Hurst possibly coming off anytime soon?
Yeah, Trent, it's similar, but no, he didn't tear it, which is, I think that's what he did on his UCL. I think that was last year when we were in Arizona. But no, it's not as bad as that one. And then, what was the other question you asked?
Hurst and Sanu.
Yes, they both have. Yeah, they both have it. I expect to bring them both off and get them back into practice on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Same with Enan, same with Tavon. All right, guys. Thanks. See you Wednesday.
Thank you.